Hey, it's Hendrick Booz, and I'm going to show you today something I found effective for kind of increasing participation and working in breakout rooms, which is something you'll learn about in our training for Blackboard Collaborate with my online class. So I'm in my Google Drive, and I'm going to go to my online class in the folder and to the 1920 class materials. What you'll see is that I create every year a standard shell with everyone's names and then a blank column, something you can use very easily with a table. And so what you're going to want to do to create this is obviously get your student roster. I assume you know how to do that. You can do that through a variety of different things. I find it effective to just go to sys and then take the names and then paste it. And if you right click on something in Google Sites, you can paste without formatting, and then I create the table from there. And so you can go up here, you can insert a table. I create a shell that has a number column, a name column, and then a single column. And then because I so often have double columns, I also create another one that has 4 columns. Same thing, a number, student, and then column 1, column 2. And so this is something I just have ready to go. In case you don't already know how to do this, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click up here, share, and then anyone in Fairfax County can edit the actual shell you use. This I just have so people can view it for now because I don't want anyone to manipulate it, and then I create something for each of my units. So let me show you an example of what I mean by that. I'm going to go to my online Google site, which is something I'll show you how to do in a subsequent video. I find that these sites are really easy for me to use because I have all of our logistics for the year. I have each of the quarters, and then I have obviously these drop-down menus that show you exactly what they list. Shared docs, vocabulary list, project for what we're doing right now in the third and fourth quarter is Brave New World. And so a dynamic link is really easy. I just share with the kids this link. And the first thing that pops up on each of these drop-down menus, film study, shared docs, Brave New World, shared docs, research, shared docs, is that same thing, a shared doc. And so I've adapted the shell, and I have 10 different versions of that shell that I just showed you. Again, it looks like that, or it looks like this. And in the Brave New World shell, I do it for a variety of things. One, I have one shared doc for an entire unit. And so we started out the unit with just some generic ideas. None of these bullet points listed underneath the main thing, overall book, are from me. These are all from the kids, and so these are their ideas. You can go back and look at a version history to find out who said what, but this was just trying to get kids to kind of open up. Something else you're going to learn to use are breakout rooms in Blackboard Collaborate or Collaborate Ultra. And here, again, I don't care who wrote it in, but each group had a chapter to deal with, and so they gave kind of an overview of the text. This is meant to be like kind of a mini cheat sheet or a kind of a self-generated Spark Notes, if you will. So then I get into that shell I was talking about, and I do it for a variety of things. Here in aqua is what I wrote, and in yellow is what they wrote, and so we have a project where they're going to do a Google site on an advertisement for Brave New World, or an advice column for one of the characters, or an application for say Bernard to try to be the director of human conditioning or something like that. But I had them use those columns, and then they added their work in. And so you can see each of the students then had a specific assignment, and this is an easy way to keep track of everything. But also, students, I can tell if they didn't do it, one, or if the other students need to kind of figure out what a brochure looks like, then they're going to go to John's column and they're going to pick that brochure. So a couple people said that his was kind of lacking and they added to it, no big deal. So if you go down to something that looks a little bit more like what we were talking about, here is then an example of how I use the shell in class. So I had them, sorry, I'm trying to go up to the top column. I had them try to create modern connections between Brave New World and obviously our modern society, and then I had them explain what they were going to do, what the genre was. In the first bullet point, an advertisement here for me, and then I would like to make a Google site. So if we look at Anisha's work, she's talking a little bit about conditioning, and I think she's probably going to deal with Pavlov and some elements there. So she wants to do either a newspaper article or a brochure. She didn't tell me if she's going to do a Google site or Google Slides, and so it's really easy for me to just quickly take a glance at this and see if students did exactly what they're supposed to, or if they did anything at all. This enables me to keep track of not only their progress, but it also offers exemplars for each other. And so we've created a very collaborative class in that a lot of times students wait for some of the stronger kids to add their ideas, and then they kind of, in a derivative fashion, they kind of mimic what they've done. No big deal, they're still making their own work, but this is an easy way for me to use these shells. If we could keep scrolling down, they eventually have given me their hyperlinks to all of their projects. Again, same students aren't doing their work, no big deal, I guess, in the way we're moving forward. But it also allows me to quickly check Anisha's site. And so I've linked to her project proposal, her connections in modern society, her examples of her genre. And so these shared shells or these shared documents are really, really easy for me to then just quickly take a look at what we are going to do. I have everything set up for every unit moving forward. Obviously, we've missed a couple of these units, and so sometimes they get a little long. This is 26 pages. You guys can see in the shared shell for, say, research, same thing goes on. I'm able to quickly gauge whether or not students have done their brainstorming. This is all the way back in October, and I gave them feedback. Some of them did all of it, some of them did only a little bit of it. But these shared shells, this one's 36 pages long, last throughout the unit. And so each time we have a new question, the students are able to kind of build on their prior knowledge. And so sometimes I post the rubric at the very top so they can see. I have them evaluate their own work, and I manipulate this shared document as I see fit. Hope this works. Again, you're going to use Google Docs, create a new file, import your students' names, share it, and then obviously once you create the basic shell, you're going to want to make sure that everyone can edit it. Hope this works for you. It's really effective for me, and it also enables me to kind of gauge students' progress. Thanks.